Alright gang, welcome to another edition of Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium live stream. Yes gang, that's right, live stream, a stream that is live. Anyway gang, welcome one and all. I see M.A. Lyman 24, welcome. There's Paula, hi. There's Rust Belt Relic Rescue, how are you? Kay Watt, there she is, Hunting History, how are you? Crystal says so. Hey, how are you? And there's Yovengal. How are you? And Wash PA Diggers. How are you? Oh, there's Sandy Reiser. How about that? Anyway, I knew she'd show up.
Hi.
Hey, Joe Bunn. How are you? American Woodland Relics. How are you? Elk Slayer. Hey, Elk. How are you? George. How are you, George? Jersey History Hunters, how are you? Jordan Anderson, I knew you would show up. Hi. And there's Amy Amster, part-time detector. And oh boy, just you wait. Anyway, there's the Giant Garrett Detectorist. How are you, Ben? And hello. There's Who's Your Hillbilly? How are you? And just want to say hi to the rest of the gang. There's Judy Earl. There's Ken. Ken, how are you? And just want to say hi, Rivendell, and just want to say hi to everybody. And I missed you. Just give me a shout and go, hey, you missed me. No, okay. But anyway, gang, welcome. Like I said, hey, Chelsea Clark, how are you? And I tell you what, gang, the weather here has been odd. The forecaster said that this week was supposed to be cataclysmic, and as far as rain and everything. But let me tell you what, this has been the best cataclysm weather I've ever seen. We have yet to have rain. Um, I think we probably had, let's see, probably about 1/100th of an inch of rain. And I tell you what, now, yeah, gang, usually my posting date is on a Monday, and I posted Sunday instead. I was getting all my work out of the way to try to get a little bit of metal detecting in on Monday. But needless to say, I was a bit whooped and never did get out. But I'll tell you guys in a little bit as far as why I was trying to rush right back out there. But again, more on that later. Also, too, how about we stick up there our giveaway for this evening, and there it is. And yeah, gang, that's the 1893 Columbian Exposition commemorative half. And yeah, gang, that will be tonight's giveaway. And again, we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later and how all that came up. And Six Flags just got home. Wow, Emily Lyman, that had to be exciting. And yeah. And also, too, gang, exciting and maybe a trip to the chiropractor. No, I'm kidding. And anyway, gang, also, too, had other stuff going on. I think we will be doing a little bit of rebranding tonight. Nothing too out of the norm. We'll just say this will be something you guys can actually probably use. That's odd. But anyway, welcome to anybody that happens to be coming in. I'm missing. And anyway, gang, it's Treasure Tuesday. And again, just welcome to Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium's live stream. And yeah, gang, it is the only live stream tonight that won't leave a film on your teeth. And, well, there will be plenty of bad aftertaste, but yet, gang, it will not leave a film on your teeth. And, yeah, welcome, whoever's coming in, and grab a seat, because we're about to fly. We've got a great show tonight, so hold on to your hats. Why, we've got a continuation. I know this might seem like we're going to drag on, but we've got more information. We have a continuation of last week's recap. Some exciting bits. And we got a historical piece regarding the Civil War, Gettysburg in particular. And yeah, gang, we got some information on that Panamanian Balboa. And I tell you what, I'm just getting into this research, and it is exciting, like you just don't know. And yeah, gang. By the way, that Panamanian Balboa is the only coin that inspires me to go out and burn down the village next door. But anyway, gang, then at the end of the live stream, we have the viewer appreciation giveaway. A very, very special giveaway made possible by contributions from the community. So thank you, one and all. And also, yes, gang, there will be an afterglow tonight. BYOD. Yes, that's right, gang. BYOD. Bring your own dessert. So anyway, gang, we're just going to get on rolling here. And hey, Liz, how are you? And hey, Discover E, how are you? And welcome, whoever might be strolling on in. But anyway, last week, if you guys recall, if you were here, we had an afterglow after the Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium's yard sale. And by the way, I hope everyone has gotten their packages by now and are satisfied. And I just want to say thanks to all making that a success. And anyway, after the yard sale, during the afterglow, I cleaned the mystery object. Yes, gang, that thing right down there. And I tell you what, was it a coin? Was it a button? Well, gang, Treasure Hunting SWPA, he nailed it. That night he nailed it. I tell you what, he was on the spot. And towards the end of the week, Chris Dale, if you folks know him, noticed something confirming the ID. And basically, it's a letter U. I'll try to get my little pointy stick there. There is only one little letter that you can actually confirm it to be a letter, and it's that letter U there on the button. And we'll go ahead and pull up some pictures here for you folks. And pow! Anyway, that letter U positioned by the rim. Now, it turns out that the mystery item is indeed a button after all, and an exceedingly rare button at that. It's a King and Constitution button, a Revolutionary War era button. And yeah, gang, there's something else I got to say about it. This is an American Loyalist button, basically loyal to the crown. Okay, so whoever had this button in their possession was not a revolutionary. They were a Tory. They were in support of the crown. And I tell you what, now even with that idea, you folks gotta know by now how this would excite me. But what is more exciting is now what more that site has to offer. And not only that, but how this artifact ties into the history of the piece of ground where it was found. Because let me tell you what, gang, where this button was found was basically, there were staunch revolutionaries. They were not Tories at all. So, and anyway, gang, if you guys haven't seen Sunday night's video, do take a look at it. And you know, it's kind of funny. Before finding the button, I was combing through bits of lead. That's right, lead. And then I found the button. Now, where the button was found is in somewhat proximity to a small engagement. And now it crawls through my brain, eats at it. I wonder if that lead was the remnants of the preparations for that engagement. You know, basically the leftovers of pouring bullets, musket balls. Now, the idea of this just blows my mind, and I cannot wait to get back there. Like I said, Sunday I did all my YouTube chores and was planning to get out there Monday night. Unfortunately, I had a work type of day at work and was too tired to get out. But I have to admit, I will be getting back out there post-haste. But anyway, gang, it's one thing to find something from the revolutionaries or to find something from Britain itself, but we have a button here, a rare button, and to find an American Loyalist button there, I tell you what, it's just a definite sign of British troops and Loyalists being in the area. And like I said before, this area was known for its staunch revolutionaries. I just, again, I'll say it again, I cannot wait to get back. And further, I tell you what, I can almost nail down a probable date. That's right, a date of when that button was lost. And if you guys want to hint as year, it's 1777. That's the year it was lost. And I'll have to do just a tad bit more research to confirm the exact date, or I should say there's a 3-day window. And I tell you, I'm really attempting hard not to over-speculate or conjecture, but it's extremely hard not to. But anyway, gang, I will end this piece by merely saying that it is indeed exciting to me anyway, and I hope to be able to say there will be more in relation to this button in the future. But anyway, gang, that was basically the recap. And again, many thanks to Treasure Hunting SWPA and to Chris Dale. I tell you what, gang, couldn't have done it without them. We're back. Anyway, say, when watching anybody's videos, if something sticks with you, why, it not only does it mean that it was paid attention to, but it also must have struck a special chord or something. And I tell you what, gang, I watched somebody's video just recently, and now me, I have this passion for old time radio. I know that sounds extremely corny, but I'm a huge Jack Benny fan. But one of the gang here actually found something in relation to old time radio. And I think it's a dandy of a find just because of how much I like old time radio. And this is a Charlie McCarthy spoon. And this spoon was found by Hoosier Hillbilly, and I just want to say congrats. Like I said, I think this is a dandy of a find. When I first heard tell about it, I not only got a chuckle, but I mean, this is basically commercialism at its best. You had these sponsors making different things. I said I was a fan of Jack Benny back in the 30s and early 40s. Jack Benny was sponsored by Jello, so not only did Jello have a whole bunch of stuff related to Jack Benny, etc., but here we got this wonderful, wonderful Charlie McCarthy spoon. And I think Hoosier did a wonderful job in his video. Basically, it was Bergen and McCarthy, Edgar Bergen, and did a wonderful job explaining basically who Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy was. So I have to say, yeah, okay, I was just pointing out a Revolutionary War button, but I'm actually quite envious of this find because, like I said, I'm a fan of old-time radio, and I think it's a great, great find. So anyway, congrats to Hoosier Hillbilly. And yes, I've obviously been thinking about that find since he's posted his video, because, just today, actually this early this morning while I was getting ready for work and whatnot, I kind of was thinking about it again. It's like, I want to step out in the live stream. And so at the last minute during the day, I was texting Hoosier. It's like, hey, or email. I said, can you send me a picture of that? But anyway, congrats to Hoosier again. If you are not subscribed to him, do please do so. You won't regret it. Anyway, gang, what else let me just try and catch up with chat a little bit. And did you do a spoon toss? I remember that guy. I am getting old. What do you mean getting? Hey, Lincoln, how are you? And you may want to clean that before you use it with your cereal, North Jersey Detector says. You know what, North Jersey, I find glassware in the bay and stuff, whatnot, glasses that aren't broke, like drinking glasses. Now, as much as I say I want to clean them up and actually use them, I can't. But you know what, you give me a Charlie McCarthy spoon, I just may eat my cereal with it. And Radio Ventriloquist. He wasn't the only one either. There was actually a couple of other ones besides Edgar Bergen. There's actually a wonderful movie actually called Radio Days. And when it follows the group of characters around, there's one family where they actually are arguing about, what is there to like about Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy? He's a ventriloquist. How can you see him not move his lips? That's all, and of course they go on arguing about it. Hey, Kane, how are you? And hey, Gear, how are you? Amy, you're having a problem ending your live stream, but yet you're here. Anyway, gang, my phone died, so now it says it's still streaming. That's odd. Anyway, gang. Oh, real quick, Mrs. Reiser has a bit of a mail call. Last week, actually everybody, I mean, there was a whole bunch of us from here, cruised on over to Gone Digging's interview with interviewing DK, Adventures in Dirt, and they did some giveaways and whatnot. And Sandy was lucky enough to manage to win that's right, a silver round. And wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I tell you, good show. Nice to hear from DK and Adventures in Dirt. And I tell you what, my missus, she is lucky with that. And I tell you what, lately she's won all kinds of stuff. But many, many congrats to her for winning the silver round.
Thank you, DK.
Anyway, hey, there's Sarah. How are you? And no, I also see Silver Topaz. How are you? Anyway, gang, we've got some Civil War history here tonight. And we've got a little bit of the intro. Got the Civil War intro. Then I got a Gettysburg intro. And then we're going to bust right into what we're going to talk about regarding to Gettysburg. And there's actually a really poignant story. I first heard tell of this story. It actually reminded me of it when I managed to grab a book I had by Gregory Corco, and about Gettysburg and the aftermath of the battle. Not the battle itself, but the aftermath of the battle. And we are just going to go ahead. Hey, Dirt Monkey, we're just going to go ahead and jump right in here. And Amy, by the way, that stream of yours does have to end because I have to jump in there and what do you call it? Snipe that one picture. Anyway, gang, here we go. We're going to go ahead and throw some pictures up here. And there we have, we'll actually enlarge that in a bit. And this is Evergreen Cemetery over at Cemetery Hill in Gettysburg. And here is a lady by the name of Mrs. Thorne. And hey, there's Mr. and Mrs. Thorne. And yeah, gang, our story for tonight is actually going to go around these people here. Anyway, gang, 1860, the U.S. was made up of 33 states and Washington, D.C. The population was 31 million, and of that number, approximately 4 million were slaves. When 11 southern states seceded from the Union during 1860 to 1861, they formed a confederacy. Now, the Civil War began on April the 12th, 1861, in Charleston Harbor, South Carolina, and is generally accepted to have ended on May 26, 1865. During those 4 tumultuous years, over 10,000 battles, skirmishes, and other engagements were fought. Now, the Gettysburg campaign, now we're talking about the whole campaign, not the one battle yet, but the Gettysburg campaign began on June the 3rd, 1863, and ended in the middle to late July. During that time, 100,000 Federals and 85,000 Confederates participated in 18 battles and skirmishes, the largest and most significant being the Battle of Gettysburg itself. And basically, we had it was General George Meade, the Army of the Potomac, versus the General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia. But anyway, gang, after a 3-day battle, July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 1863, both sides suffered the loss of over 40,000 dead, mortally wounded, and wounded. Now, before this influx of throngs of soldiers of the war, the small town of Gettysburg, located in Adams County in Pennsylvania, then the town was only 65 years old, the largest borough in the county with a population of a mere 2,400 people. Yeah, gang, that's it. 2,400 people. Now, summer, July. Busy time for the farmers. Now, gang, just keep in mind of what this small town is. 2,400 people. But this is what they had coming into their small town. They had 165,000 fighting men, 6,500 supply wagons, 1,800 ambulances, 1,900 artillery caissons, 630 cannons, 90,000 horses and mules. I don't know, gang. Do you think that small town noticed anything going on, or what? But anyway, gang, the town itself became overrun, plundered, and desolated. All right, well, now we're going to jump into our story about these fine folks and find out why on earth we have them up on our screen. And this, I wish I could say young lady, but, well, she's long been passed. But anyway, this lady is Elizabeth Thorne. Now, she was the caretaker of Gettysburg's Evergreen Cemetery. And anyway, we're going to jump right into it, and then we'll make actually kind of a couple different commentaries as we go here. And no, Ken, that is not Susan B. Anthony. That's Elizabeth Thorne. I know might be a resemblance, but anyway. So at the time of the Battle of Gettysburg, Elizabeth Thorne was caretaker of Evergreen Cemetery, a job normally performed by her husband, Peter, that guy. And he was away serving in the Union Army. Her elderly parents and her 3 small sons were living with her in the cemetery gatehouse. That's that building you see down at the bottom right of the screen. By the way, she was 6 months pregnant when all of this was going on. Now, do kind of file that away in the forefront of your mind. The cemetery grounds were littered with dead soldiers and horses, and it was her responsibility to bury them. So anyway, Peter and Elizabeth Thorne emigrated from Germany and were married on September the 1st, 1855. The same day, the cornerstone was laid for the Evergreen Cemetery Gatehouse. The Thornes were the first family to live in the gatehouse when Peter was hired as the first caretaker of the 30-acre Evergreen Cemetery in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania on February the 9th, 1856. There are 13,000 burial plots, 300 of which are from the Civil War. On August 16th, 1862, Peter Thorne enlisted in the 138th Pennsylvania Infantry, leaving the care of the cemetery to his German-born wife Elizabeth, aged 30. She also had the responsibility of caring for their 3 sons and her elderly parents. I think it was more like her father. This source actually says her parents. So far, the sources I see it only really mentions her father. But anyway, gang, the cemetery gatehouse was home to the Thornes. Each side of the stone and brick structure had a cellar where the fireplaces were located, and there were 2 rooms above. The north gatehouse was built with a first-floor living room and an upstairs bedroom, which was Elizabeth Thorne's room. At the time of the Battle of Gettysburg in July 1863, Elizabeth was pregnant. Peter was serving with the 138th Pennsylvania, which was at Harper's Ferry in Washington, D.C. during the Gettysburg campaign. Yeah, gang, she was basically there left by herself. And, the war came right to her husband's own backyard, and he wasn't around. Just like a guy, right? He's never around. Never around when you need him. He's always off, doing something else. So, anyway. So, by the summer of 1863, the cemetery had become well established, and the height on which it was located had become known as Cemetery Hill. During the Battle of Gettysburg, it served as a major position of the Union Army of the Potomac. On July the 1st, Elizabeth Thorne rode with Union General Oliver O. Howard along the lines on the evening of July 1st, pointing out to him the main roads radiating from Gettysburg. And here we have a quote. So at last they came to the cemetery house and wanted a man to go out with them. A young boy was there, about 13 years, and I thought he was too young, and my father was too old. I offered myself to go along. He refused at first, but I thought there was danger all around and said I wasn't afraid, so he said, "Come on." I showed him the Harrisburg Road, the York Pike, and the Hunterstown Road. It was with one of General Howard's men that I went. Then he took me back home. He said, "They will commence very heavy firing now. Walk on the other side of my horse." And so, as soon as I jumped on our porch, he went back again. By her account, she also served supper to 3 Union Corps commanders, Howard, Henry Slocum, and Daniel Sickles. And again, her words, "Soon one of General Howard's men came and ordered me to have supper for General Howard. I complained I had no bread, for I had given it all away in the morning. But I said I could make cakes, and he said they were good enough for war times. They did not come for so long. It was near 12 o'clock. The house was so full of soldiers that the boys had to lay on the floor in the kitchen, on feather beds. And as they saw the children lying there, they said it was very sad. About 4 o'clock, we went to the cellar. There were 17 of us, other civilians. We were in the cellar about 2 or 3 hours. The noise of the cannonading was terrible. At last, the door flew open, and someone said, "This family is commanded by General Howard to leave this house and get as far in 10 minutes as possible. Take nothing up but the children and go." Anyway, gang, after 3 days of horrific battle, the armies moved on. Evergreen Cemetery and its gatehouse suffered damage from artillery shells and the thousands of men and horses who tramped through it during and after the fighting. Under the broiling sun, remember gang, summertime, July, hundreds of corpses lay strewn about the fields of Gettysburg. The subsequent days and nights were filled with the screams and mutterings of thirsty, dying men on the battlefield. The smell of decaying flesh permeated the air. The citizens wrapped rags around their faces, and some smeared camphor ointment beneath their nostrils, trying to mask the putrid smell. Elizabeth wrote, "We were down the country 4 days, and the 5th, July 7th, we went home. On the way home, we met Mr. McConaughey. He was the president of the cemetery at the time, and he said to me, 'Hurry on home. There is more work for you than you are able to do.' So we hurried on home. When we looked at the house, I could only say, 'Oh my.'" Anyway, gang, you know what? Structures do not hold up well during a battle, especially being cannonaded. And you can actually see in this picture here, actually, there's quite a bit going on in this photograph. Not only can we see the gatehouse, we can see the windows being busted out. Unfortunately, we cannot really see too close to the building itself to see where it was actually struck multiple times by bullets and etc. and whatnot. But we can see the entrenchments here, which is neat. And also, too, gang, notice all of the wooden fencing is gone. Now, was it taken down to prevent splinters, or was it used for firewood? I venture to say it was probably both. And anyway, gang, we'll get back to Elizabeth's narrative. There was no window glass in the whole house. Some of the frames were knocked beside the pump shed. I went to the cellar to look for the good things I had put there on the first night. One chest was packed with good German linen, others packed with other good things. Everything was gone but 3 feather beds, and they were full of blood and mud. After I had dragged them out of the cellar, I asked an officer who was riding by if I would ever get any pay for the things spoiled like this. He asked me what it was, and I told him bedclothes that were in the cellar, and he said in a very short way, "No!" So as soon as the pump was fixed, I sent for 3 women, and we washed for 4 days before we got them clean. The cemetery was littered with bodies of dead men and horses. After seeing the bodies, the president of the cemetery, Attorney David McConaughey, ordered Elizabeth to bury them. He picked a plot that faced East Cemetery and Culp's Hills, the rockiest soil in the cemetery. Then I got a note from the president of the cemetery, she said, and basically the note said, Mrs. Thorne, it is made out that we will bury the soldiers in our cemetery for a while, so you go for that piece of ground and commence sticking off lots and graves as fast as you can make them. Now, the mother of 3 and 6 months pregnant buried 105 soldiers in the July heat. She dug the shallow graves in the rocky ground, assisted at times by her aged parents. Men from the town offered to help, but they could not tolerate the foul smell. Anyway, she continues, well, you may know how I felt. My husband in the army, my father an aged man, yet for all the foul air we too started in. I stuck off the graves, and while my father finished one, I had another one started. This lasted for days until the boys sent word if I couldn't get help at all, I should telegraph to some of my friends to come and help me. 2 came, but one only stayed 2 days, then got deathly sick and left. The other stayed 5 days, then he went away very sick, and I had to pay their fare here and very good wages for their work. By that time, we had 40 graves done, and then Father and I had to dig on harder again. We kept on burying the soldiers until they had the National Cemetery ready, and in that time we buried 105 soldiers. In front of this house there were 15 dead horses, and beside the cemetery there were 19 in that field. So you may know it was only excitement that helped me to do it all the work, with all that stench. The baby Elizabeth was expecting in July 1863 was named Rose Mead, but she was never healthy and died at the age of 14. Elizabeth continues, in 3 months after I had dear little baby, but it was not very strong, and from that time on my health failed, and for years I was a very sick woman. In my older days my health has been better, but those hard days have always told on my life. In the ensuing months, David McConaughey led efforts to purchase portions of Cemetery Hill for a federal cemetery where most of the dead Union soldiers, except those buried by Mrs. Thorne in the civilian graveyard, could be reinterred. That's right, dug up and replanted. In November of 1863, President Abraham Lincoln spoke at the dedication ceremony for the new National Cemetery, delivering the Gettysburg Address from a platform constructed in Evergreen Cemetery. Yes, gang, that's this very cemetery. Elizabeth Thorne continued to run the cemetery until 1865, when her husband returned after witnessing the surrender of General Robert E. Lee's troops at Appomattox. The family stayed at Evergreen Cemetery until 1874. Her post-war reminiscence, written in 1905, is one of the best-known civilian accounts of the Battle of Gettysburg. Peter and Elizabeth Masser Thorne both died in 1907 and are buried there at Evergreen Cemetery. Their adjoining graves are approximately 200 yards from the gatehouse. Anyway, gang, that there is the story of Elizabeth Thorne, and I tell you what, 6 months pregnant and had to deal with probably one of the worst situations she probably ever had to deal with in her life. And but I tell you what, gang, that had to have been something. There was also a couple more different little side stories and side notes about this. One, for example, was the forbidden use of firearms in the cemetery. Yet we got this great big battle going on. There was an actual sign in the cemetery before the battle prohibiting the use of firearms in the cemetery. And also to the cannons that were located within the cemetery. That was kind of something else. Basically, if you have a cannon around your home, guess what's going to be fired back at you? So But anyway, gang, yes, had to have been a horrible, horrible time. And poor Mrs. Thorne, 6 months pregnant, and had to go out and bury a bunch of bodies. She also made note, too, in a different source, about soldiers being buried on the property before she returned, before July the 7th. She made note that there was 15 soldiers buried by the pump house. So great, great stuff. If you ever have the chance to look into it, do take a look at it. Cemetery Hill, Evergreen Cemetery. And great, great stuff. Anyway, gang, we've got stuff just going on. I'm going to try and catch the chat. I'm sorry, that was more of a long-winded story, but I thought it was a fascinating bit of history. Not so much about the war itself, but about the aftermath. Part of the 2400 that had to deal with the war after it left. So, hey, there's Adriana. How are you? Silver Baggins, how are you? And real quick too, that book I actually had dug back out to show you about the aftermath of the Gettysburg campaign. Was talking about the people, the visitors to Gettysburg immediately following the battle, and basically was going on describing, a couple different people. One were the curious, who wanted just to see where the battle was and what happened and etc. Then there was the rather morbid folk who were basically robbing the bodies. That's right. They were rifling through the pockets of the dead, taking their watches, taking whatever they had to take. And then you had the unfortunate family members who were looking for their relatives, etc. I tell you, a horrible, horrible time immediately following the war. But anyway, gang, that is that. And one thing that gets lost in translation in a story like that is the only so many words can describe that smell. And until you actually experience that kind of smell, especially when you consciously know it's human flesh that's rotting, why, I tell you what, just words will not do it justice. And, oh, gang, I tell you what, it had to have been some kind of experience. All right, gang, well, let's go on forward to some more happy-go-lucky type stuff. Anyway, gang, we've got the Panamanian Balboa, and we are going to kind of move this out of the way, say goodbye to our Revolutionary War era button for now, and we're going to move in our little Panamanian Balboa. And again, gang, this is the only coin that inspires one to go out and burn down the village next door. And 1930. And there's a couple of things about this coin that is really, really striking. And that's some hat, isn't it? I think I would like to have a hat like that. Could you imagine going to your local convenience store wearing a hat like that? And I've already started the beard. Anyway, guys. Anyway, this coin, well, it has such great eye appeal. And as you will see, somewhat reasonably priced as far as getting something in decent condition. Now, the Balboa replaced the Colombian peso in 1904 following the country's independence. With the exception of a fluctuation in 2016, the Balboa has been tied to the United States dollar. By the way, gang, the United States dollar is actually legal tender in Panama. But now let's take a look at our 1/4 Balboa. But wait, gang, yes, that's right, wait. We have a bit of a mail call. And one of the community graciously sent me this. This is a Dos Centes. Oh, okay, didn't do it right. Wait a minute. Let me try it again. Spanish. Dos Centésimos. Centim. I did this perfectly earlier. I did have a rehearsal. That's probably what happened. I over-rehearsed. Centésimos. How's that? Is that better? Anyway, thank you so much to Tim Holmes. Tim Holmes sent me this, and I must say I am tickled pink by it. And he saw where I had featured it and basically said, Reiser, you want this? And what was I going to say? No? Yes, of course. Wow. Yeah, I am highly excited. Let's try it again. Centésimos. See, I can do it when I'm perfectly relaxed. Basically, here is the other side, and we'll see our little conquistador on the other side. I don't really want to take it out there. And 1940. I know, we're getting a little bit of a glare, I'm sorry. But I'm highly excited about that. And again, thank you so much to Tim. I greatly appreciate it. You just don't know. And I'll probably get hollered at later because now that we got the 2 and I got the quarter, I'm probably going to need a half now. Anyway, gang. But like I said, I was tickled pink. And again, thank you so much to Tim. And but anyway, we'll get back to this. So the reverse of this coin is indeed a conquistador. It is none other than Vasco. Wow, here we go again with Spanish. You guys ready? We'll see if we can't butcher it some more. Anyway, on the back of this, we have a conquistador. His name is Vasco Núñez de Balboa Núñez. Spanish explorer, governor, and yes, gang, a conquistador. Best known for having crossed the Isthmus of Panama. And basically went across and gave the Pacific Ocean a look at. And what was it called back then? The South Sea. I think we'll get to it here in a little bit. But yeah, he looked at the Pacific Ocean back in 1513. So yeah, gang, let that just kind of sink in. 1513. Because remember, Columbus, 1492. Vasco, 1513. Anyway, gang, he founded Santa Maria la Antigua de Darien in present-day Panama in 1510. Balboa was born in, circa 1475, and he died in 1519, execution by decapitation. Isn't that exciting? But anyway, I did send Rivendell Coins email about this, and I was kind of thinking, I was like, I wonder how many other people were decapitated and now are featured on coins. I off the top of my head, nothing really stuck out. But anyway, it seems like there's actually, we could do a series by itself as far as how many decapitated people are on coins and which one, and etc. But anyway, there's quite a few who've been decapitated and now are on coins. So this guy isn't the only one. So anyway, back to Balboa. At the end came for Balboa due to being accused of trying to usurp Pedrerias' power and start a separate government in the South Sea. He had for some time been in a rivalry with Pedrerias. It's kind of hard. P-E-D-R-A-R-I-A-S. Pedrerias. The trial took place without a delay back in January of 1519. And by the way, his rival observed the execution. He was hidden behind a platform. But anyway, gang, with an axe, Balboa was beheaded. And, somewhat. However, it did not come off clean. It was not just one swipe. It actually took 3 whacks. His head, as well as accused co-conspirators' heads, were on public display for several days. The final location of Balboa's remains is unknown. And really, to a footnote here, South Sea, otherwise known as Pacific Ocean, why, in 1520, Ferdinand Magellan renamed the South Sea to the Pacific Ocean because of its calm waters. And, yeah, gang, that's just some brief kind of cliff note type stuff on Balboa. And do give his history a looking at. It is quite fascinating. But anyway, let's get back to the coin. The 1930 Puerto de Balboa, its composition is 90% silver. Its weight is 6.25 grams right now. Well, I can't say right now. As of 7/21, its melt value is $2.83. The obverse, let's go ahead and switch her around. The obverse is the armored bus. I'm sorry, what was I saying? The national coat of arms of Panama. For you diggers out there, look, there's shovels. Anyway, gang, and of course, the other side we have Vasco himself. Now, one thing I cannot confirm. I saw one source where they said that this was minted by the United States Mint. And I have to say yet, gang, in my research thus far, I have not a confirming source also stating that. I only have the one source. So I will footnote that in there, that I don't have a confirming source, but it seems like the United States Mint actually minted this. But, again, I could not find a reliable confirming source, so right now we're just going to say I believe it was the United States Mint. Maybe one of you guys know for sure. So if you do, hey, do kick it out in the chat. But anyway, gang, now as far as some of the pricing guides for this coin seems to be elevated, if not exaggerated. This same year, 1930, and even with its low mintage of 400,000, sells for under $20 to have one in extra fine condition. And I tell you what, I am more than pleased, not only with the price I paid for this piece out of the discount bowl at my semi-local coin shop. I tell you what, it has excellent eye appeal and interesting history behind it. But yeah, gang, I tell you what, it's just the only coin out there that just kind of inspires to go and pillage the neighboring neighborhood. But anyway, and again, gang, thank you to Tim. Tim, thanks so much for sending me the Dos Centimos. I almost had it. Anyway, so anyway, gang, let's check on our time here. Oh, okay, we're doing all right. But yeah, I will kind of check over chat. Let's see. Tim rocks. That he does. I feel like I'm going to be sent to the principal's office at any second. SJ, down the hall. Oh, okay. And
Maybe not, SJ.
if you sell it for melt, you could buy half a Starbucks coffee. You know what? Speaking of that real quick, I probably should save this for the afterglow. Are people protesting Starbucks for stopping the using straws? Is that something really going on, or am I kind of like dreaming stuff? I could swear I heard something about people protesting Starbucks about Starbucks wanting to stop having straws. I don't know, but I'm like, if there's anything to that, I tell you what, I believe there was something in the newspaper about that. Not that I believe everything I read in the newspaper, but come on, people, let's get some priorities going. But straws, you're upset because of straws? Oh, we got people already talking to Rosie. Way to get out there and get ahead of the crowd. Wonder who got dibbies on his hat. I wish I did. Oh boy, isn't that a wonderful hat? I tell you what, I just want to wear that around town. You know, not only they already talk about me, so might as well have a hat to go along with it. Oh, Mike's in the game too. Rosie, can I get you anything? Treasure hunting SWPA. Hey man, how are you? They used to decapitate a lot of people back then. That was the way to go, you know? Well, if the axe was sharp anyway, this poor guy, took him 3 whacks. Why, that couldn't have been too much fun. Now, can you imagine just missing a little bit? You know, only got half the neck. Oh, you know, oh, sorry. You know.
All I asked the loaded question of who's Rosie.
Who's Rosie? Rosie the robot. Rosie the robot is who we named the night bot that picks out the winner when we do the giveaways. So basically, we kind of gave Rosie her own little personality because when we first started with Nightbot, it seemed that Rosie had a temperament of her own. Actually, she was out banning everybody for everything. If you looked the wrong way, she just gave you a timeout. But we kind of tamed her a little bit now. I won't say she's pleasant now. We'll just say that she's a little more forgiving.
Yes, Paula, you got it.
I think you could pull off the look, Charlie. I tell you what, I'm getting one of these hats. They used to have these hat stores, hats in the Belfry or something like that, where it was like a chain store that sold only hats. Gotta see if they've got a conquistador hat, because yeah, I think yeah. Could you imagine Melly taking out in the farm field wearing a conquistador hat? I tell you that you'd turn into a meme on Facebook with that. Corey W. Smell, flies, maggots, just horrible. Let me tell you what. I just can't imagine. Oh, Riv, the U.S. government should erect a monument to her at Gettysburg. She does have one. It's too far away. I actually have a notes on it. There is actually a statue to her at Gettysburg, somewhere near the cemetery, I believe. Anyway, I've probably gone too far back into the checks. I feel like I'm talking about Gettysburg again. But anyway, gang, and back to this. You can buy them at Conquistador Hat Depot. All right, gang. Anyway, here we go. We've come to that part in the show where we give Rosie a gentle nudge and see who she favors tonight. And again, we have an 1893 Columbian Exposition commemorative half for our giveaway. Now, this giveaway was in part supplied by 2 generous tips from the community. One was from Rivendell Coins. Thank you so much, Rivendell. And also the other from a Monimist. Thank you, a Monimist. And many, many thanks to you both for making this giveaway possible. And in turn, sharing back with this wonderful, wonderful community. So anyway, gang, we are going to go ahead and wake up Rosie. And, oh, how about the coin itself? Hang on one second. We'll take a look at that real quick. You guys ready? Some excellent, excellent toning is going to be going on. And, wow, does that seem much larger than I remember? And got a little bit of glare. I'm leaving it inside. If you guys don't notice, when something's in a flip, I choose to leave it in there, especially if it's going to be going to somebody else, because I don't want to be the one responsible for dragging a staple across a coin. And I figure whoever wins it can be oh so careful and undo the staples and carefully pull out the staples first before trying to open the flip. Yeah, please get rid of the staples first before you open the flip. don't try to force the flip open with the staples in it. And again, gang, this was purchased by the generous donations from the community. And hey, real quick, don't forget, I just saw it today, in fact. And correct me if I'm wrong, Rivendell, do you have a live stream tomorrow at 7:30? Do please say something in chat, because I do think I recall seeing a notification for it earlier.
Amy's going live tomorrow, so.
Oh, and Amy's going live tomorrow too.
What time are you going live, Amy?
Treasure hunting SWPA. I hate flips. Let me tell you what, gang. You know who has gotten me successfully away from flips, and that is Mr. Ken Peavy, right there in chat. Watching one of his shows, I saw the wonderful things of just using one of the plastic flips. I wish I had handy. I'd show you. And but I tell you what, I am now full in agreement that, yeah, one of the basic. Oh, I got one. It's here. Tim has one of these. Yes. So anyway, gang. Anyway, gang, that there is the fine coin, the 1893 Colombian exposition half here. That is in tonight's giveaway, and I do think that is a dandy of a coin. Anyway, gang, here we go. We're going to get Rosie fired up, and bear with me 1 second, and we'll get her all kinds of woke up. I hope she's not cranky, because we're going to be waking her up. Anyway, Rosie knows that you are around, because you know how Rosie is. She kind of sees, you know, she reads the chat. She doesn't say much in there. Well, thankfully, she used to. But anyway, gang, here we go. You guys ready? We're going to count down from 5. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Congratulations to AWR. Congratulations, you just won the 1893 Colombian Exposition half. Congratulations. And I really am curious. I'm going to have to go back and see if you're one of the guys that, you know, badmouth Rosie, or you one of those guys that actually butter her up. But anyway, gang, congratulations to AWR. Anyway, gang. So, just when one was thinking Rosie was a mean so-and-so, she goes and picks AWR. So how about that? But anyway, gang, if anyone wishes to hang around for the afterglow, it's a time of banter and casual talk, and tell you what, just join us after a 10-minute intermission, and then we'll be back. But for those who may be leaving, let me just say it's been a pleasure having you here. After all, you guys are my treasure as well. And don't forget, we got Liz digging Canuck off the cuff at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time this upcoming Thursday. We got Mantic Coins this upcoming Saturday at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Then, gang, do not miss Ken Peavy's The Big Show community-sponsored coin giveaway Sunday night, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Don't want to miss it. And anyway, gang, have a good night. And like I said, anybody who is staying, BYOD, that's right, bring your own dessert. And we'll see you right back here in about 10 minutes. And we'll see what trouble we can get into. All right, gang, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, gang, you've made it. You've made it to the afterglow, and welcome, welcome, welcome. And this is just where we're going to have some casual chat and see what else is going on. Hope you guys are having a wonderful night. And a couple things. I'm kind of going to clear off my desk now. 8 minutes. I mean, I'm early. Oh, I'm sorry. Watering my garden. Hey, Dirty George, how are you? And hey, Well Detect. But anyway, gang, for anybody who tunes into the Ken TV show, let me tell you what, you've got to be quick when you watch Ken's show. Wonderful show. I'm kind of cleaning off my desk, and here's actually my notes from last Sunday's show. And I'm counting everything that's in front of me. I'm counting the coins. I'm writing down the dates of years and stuff. And because you just never know what kind of craftiness Ken's going to do for his show. You know, how many dimes are on the table? And then you're thinking, oh my goodness, I've stared at that screen for the past hour and never noticed how many dimes. So anyway, so you learn from that. You write them down. You write how many coins he has on the table, and et cetera and so forth. So actually, yeah, we'll take notes. And then, but he's a little tricky guy, but he gears the questions for everybody, which is wonderful. However, this past Sunday, you just had to guess the date and mint mark of the week he had. And boy, I tell you, he throws you a curveball. You just never know what to expect when watching Ken's show. Oh, there he is there. I sent an email inviting you to get involved in the Coin Video Seminar weekend. Your storytelling would add excellent. Oh, well, thank you, Ken. Yes, I would like to be involved in that. Peavy is groovy. Well, thanks, Ken. And yes, I will respond. By the way, Ken, did anything arrive today? But anyway, guys, I can't type fast enough to compete on Ken's channel. And woohoo, Afterglow. Hey, North Jersey Detector. Yes, an Afterglow. Do people still have Afterglows? They'll go to an event, and then will they still have parties after the event? I don't know. Hey, Rivendell, if you're still here, while I was up, I grabbed my note. By the way, I didn't preface that. All that Civil War story, I was kind of had my notes mixed into it. You couldn't tell when I was going kind of off script or not. There is an excellent website called Civil War Women. And that story, the main parts of it, not my notes, of course, but the main meat of it, the guts of it, was written by a gal by the name of Maggie McLean. Or McLean. And I tell you what, usually I'm critical about other people's articles and how well or not how well written they are. Hers, I have to say, is very well written. And so kudos to her. Oh, so back to that. Statue. There is a Elizabeth Thorne monument. It's a 7-foot bronze statue created by sculptor Ron Tunnison of Cairo, New York. And basically it depicts a weary Elizabeth Thorne leaning on a shovel as she rests from her work. And the memorial was dedicated in November 2002 and honors the contributions of all women who served before, during, and after the Battle of Gettysburg. So there you go. There is something. And I tell you what, I just cannot imagine the hardships poor Mrs. Thorne was going through. I mean, she's already worried about her own husband, let alone now she has all these, that sounds weird, all these bodies in her cemetery. Well, yeah, there are bodies in her cemetery. No, I mean the ones above ground. But, good night, all. I have to finish my sign stencil for the church, and I am not getting done this way. Talk to you next week. All right, Judy Earl, have a good night. That is wonderful that they honored her for what she did. Many would shirk from that call. There's a lot of forgotten people from the wartime. K. Watt says, "What? I didn't do anything." Is that a little redundant for K. Watt? Say what? Okay, Ken. Hoosier Hilly, thanks for mentioning the spoon try. Let me tell you what. Like I said, anything that will draw your brain back. Not only did I like it the first time around, but obviously it kept me thinking. And this morning I thought, you know what? Well, we're gonna throw it up on the stream. So I think it's a great find. I gotta take off too. Things to do and all that. All right, Ken. Have a great night, and we'll catch you around on the tube. Probably my most favorite find to date. And yeah, let me tell you what. When it's something that you can't necessarily find immediately again, yeah, they kind of get that little sentiment attached to it. Why, a mercury dime, we can go in a neighbor's yard and go find another mercury dime. But to go find another Charlie McCarthy spoon, probably not. So yeah, it's very cool. I think it's very cool. Oh, and there's Blockhead. What kind of ice cream tonight, Mike? Yes, let's torture us. Thanks, Rib. I have been really lucky in my short detecting career. You just never know what's going to come out of the ground. Tim Holmes, people would shoot the horses just to take out the cannons. I tell you what, that's the other thing. You know, you have the rotting flesh of the soldiers. You also got all that livestock going around, the horses and the mules and whatnot. I can't imagine being a resident of Gettysburg and then just watching this throng of people and wondering if it's ever going to end. You know, the days immediately following that battle, I just can't imagine uh, people trying to get back to some sort of normalcy, you know, after the battle. Because everything's gone, you know, things been burned up. And actually, you still have the ambulances running back and forth between Philadelphia and Gettysburg, and the traffic and the noise, and the tents are still there for the hospitals, and now you've got all this destruction and other stuff. Oh my god, I just can't imagine. I can imagine, but I can't. You can't accurately place all that. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. All right, everybody, head over to Dirt 30 with George.
Really?
He's making cheese stuffed manicotti with my homemade. Yeah, all right, everybody, head over to George's house.
About the rain for body part.
My great grandfather was a teamster in the 5th New Hampshire. I can't imagine the wounded soldiers he had to carry away. Wow, that's really cool, Rip.
Welcome back, Jeff.
And I tell you what, someplace Bodine College in Maine. Is that where Chamberlain taught? I would love to give that a visit. He was also governor of Maine as well, wasn't he? I would if we ever do make it to Maine, I wouldn't mind seeing what's interpreted if they still have like Chamberlain's house as a museum or something like that. But interesting guy it seems.
Start 30 with George says, I always make extra.
Okay, George, we'll be there. Wait, going back to Hoosier, I'm starting to think any detectors in my area only look for the silver coins. I tell you what, Hoosier, you ready for this? I agree with you about 90%. When I go over a colonial site around here or whatnot, like for example, this button. Why, this button on the Gear AT Pro only rang up like a shotgun shell. It was in the low 50s, I believe, on the VDI. And a lot of the higher sounding targets, they were gone. But there's still stuff there. I cannot wait to get back. Like I said, I did all my YouTubeage. I did all my YouTube stuff Sunday, thinking I could try and get out Monday, because even though everything you heard I wrote on Monday, I still was unsure if I was going to be getting out Monday night back to that field. I got to get back to that field. You just don't know how bad I've got to get back to that field. In fact, tomorrow I should be cutting the grass, but so anyway.
Honey,
What?
I'm right next to you.
Oh, I forgot. So anyway, so yeah, I just cannot wait to get back.
Clockhead says my great grandfather fought in the Civil War and was shot and received a pension of $3.
I tell you what, that was, well, of course, in the 1860s, that'd be. What time should I meet you, Charlie? I tell you what, Mike, I'll be down here. Let's see if you can come here by 3:30, or actually 3 o'clock. If you're going to be down here, I'll take the day off, and we'll head on over.
I'll even feed you dinner.
Anyway, wow, score, dinner, and might as well have George come over and bring in his manicotti. No, okay. And I don't even think 10% of the relics on the ground have been found. I agree, Mike. I tell you what, in certain sites you've got to dig it all, and I do believe this farm field's turning into one. You know what? Real quick, and again, it's going to drive me nuts, and I'm sorry if I repeat myself. Boy, I feel like a moron. If you watch my video, I was picking up bits of lead, and it's actually I was in a little spot where mentally I was like, well, I'm not really finding nothing, so I'm kind of making a little game out of the shapes of the lead I'm pulling out, the different states and whatnot, not even thinking what the possibilities are of this lead. Now, I knew there was a Revolutionary War engagement just miles down the road. Never did think that could have been a staging area or a preparation area of the soldiers and etc. I tell you what, afterwards, making fun of the bits of the lead coming out, never thinking that could be, oh my God, now I've got to get back. And of course, I'll be digging everything out of that field. Can't wait to get back. Joe Fun, Rosie, pick me. She already picked.
You're a little late there, Joe.
Oh, some of the other stuff that could be in that field. If we're pulling out a loyalist button, could there be a British officer's button? Oh boy. I tell you what, I can't do that. I'll lose sleep tonight thinking, daydreaming of what can be in that field. And British gold could be in that field, believe it or not, because the British were paying off the local farmers. If they were loyal, they would pay off the farmers for supplies. If they weren't loyal, they'd take the stuff and just burn your house down.
Okay. Dirt 30 says he's a locksmith and he has a bunch of skeleton keys. Mike says start burying them, Dirt 30. Because I guess Hoosier found a skeleton key. And Ayla says she likes skeleton keys.
I tell you what, Rev, 30th Main, going back to Little Round Top, out of ammunition, what are you going to do? Let's stick on the bayonets and charge down the hill. I tell you what, that do or die mentality, that was a decision. That was the decision on the go. I tell you what, do we fall back or do we just run down that hill and oh my goodness, probably scared the Jesus out of the people down at the bottom of the hill. Like, these guys are nuts, But anyway, one thing that strikes me about the Civil War and the battle and whatnot is the noise. The things that we cannot grasp from books. Okay, we can't grasp the smell. Some of the other senses we can use descriptive words to get an idea of how things were. Between noise and smell and etc. It's really hard to get that first-person experience of those things. So anyway, gang, let's go out and kill the cow, and as it decomposes, just kind of smell it. No, let's not do that. But one of them is a late 1800s jailer's key. big hawking thing. I believe they would call it a century key. Yes, George? Have a good night, Joe. By the way, here's a little advertisement, free advertisement. If you ever do go to Gettysburg, not only do you have to now check out the new visitor center, but they also have a new, yes, that's right, gang, a new Holiday Inn. And the old Holiday Inn used to be in like the center of town. I think it's called something else now. But the new Holiday Inn is on the outskirts of town, and it's actually quite reasonable. I think it's under $100 a night. I think it's like $89 or $90 or something like that. But Sandy, did you see my chat? AWR. Which chat was that? Still have to watch this video. Will at 4:30 a.m. when I get up. Uh-oh, am I missing? Ah, there we go. I get up at 5:15 a.m. I get up whenever somebody forces me. No, okay. That's about the time I get up. Gettysburg is surreal, unbelievably peaceful. You know what, Hoogie? I actually want to try. I don't know if I'll ever be able to, really. I always want to try and hike the whole battlefield in one day. I know that's going to be a hike. Well, it'll be like, imagine it'd be roughly 20 some odd miles. 10 miles one way, 10 miles back. Always wanted to try it. Maybe. Remember, if you go to Gettysburg, do not take anything from the battlefield. It's believed everything there is cursed, even the dirt and rocks. Well, dirt monkey. It's also a federal offense. It comes with a 15-year mandatory jail term and up to $250,000 fine. So it's best not to touch anything. Actually, I believe last year before, somebody was actually convicted from metal detecting the Antietam battlefield, and it did not go well for them. I am forced to have to make my husband's lunk. I hate lunk. Oh, Amy, I have to pick on you again. Oh, I cannot wait to go back to your live stream and get the. Oh my goodness, I just cannot wait. And Mike, you missed it. Somebody was sniffing their armpit. Oh, I am Tattletale. Mike, you have to go back and look at Amy's live stream. She was sniffing her armpit. I'm going to Tattletale that now on any chance I get.
AWR says my address is on my about section. He's having problems with it.
Gotcha, AWR. I'll go back to your about section. So Amy, we know at least you're gonna have one more view on that live stream, Mike. So in search of ice cream.
Should have never sniffed your armpit, Amy.
Yeah, some things that Reiser will never forget. Someone is moving behind you. Oh wow, I didn't realize that clad wasn't in the camera. Oh well. Pickett's charge took about 30 minutes with light infantry gear. I wonder how many of us could make it in that time. Or in that heat. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine the. I've been there in July. It's hot. Here comes the bus. You're very welcome, Amy. See, I'll get you people to view your live stream. And Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yep.
I had my eyes closed, but I was actually listening, so I did hear that.
I was there, but I did fall asleep on you, Amy.
My daughter got me watching Dr. Pimple Pooper.
Especially Simple Popper.
Oh, Pimple Pop, Dr. Pimple Popper. There's a cartoon or something like that.
I have no idea what it is. I've heard of it, but
You know, it's horrible. For a while, when one of our granddaughters was living with us, got us watching the Aquanauts every morning. Then, when the daughter and granddaughter moved out, the Reiser still watched the Aquanauts. It was why, I don't know. That was back when we still had cable.
I still watch Octonauts, courtesy of YouTube.
Aquanauts, good time, you know. He had to, yeah, and that's like one of the few shows I'll watch that takes place underwater too. At that.
Oh God, it's a channel dedicated to popping pimples.
What? Okay. Not watching that.
I used to love Caillou. Like, I used to have a little Caillou that hung from the shifter in my car.
Alternator installed. Check. Willie.
Sorry, Chase. Yes, we did the giveaway.
Willie, what were you installing a alternator in? Riv, I didn't get a chance to see you. You are going on live tomorrow at 7:30, yes? Kid's car. Okay. Yeah, I used to find myself watching my daughter's TV show, and I would look around and see she would be gone and blanket her or something. And yet you are still watching this. Oh my goodness.
Ours moved out, and I still watch them.
I'm trying to remember. There was always that one annoying kid. The Disney. Oh my goodness. The Disney. Mickey Mouse and whatnot, but it was like the cartoon thing.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse?
Was that the one where they would count and colors and all that good stuff?
I think so.
That was a highly annoying show. Whatever happened to like Sesame Street and all that good stuff?
No, Willie, it's not.
Well, good luck with your pimple hoogie, and we'll catch you around on the tube.
I like Sophia the First, too, Mike.
Yes, but I think I may put this Rivendell. Yes, I may. Yes, but I think I may put off the cherry picking guide portion. I don't want to string for too long. Mickey Mouse Club. Oh, Hoosier knew. Yep. Tiny Tornadoes got him watching
Dirt
this.
Monkey, now I'll have that song stuck in my head the rest of the
Oh
night.
my God, Dirt Monkey. That was what I hated about that show. Oh my God. Oh my. I would listen to that in the morning and then have that stuck in my head all day through work. Oh my goodness. Somebody shoot me now. Hey, Cheryl. How are you? Welcome to the Afterglow portion of the live stream. And this is where we have probably all the good fun about this stuff. This is also, too, where we kind of do a lot of inside stuff. And
that's kind of creepy, Mike.
yeah, that's kind of, is there candy? No.
Ice cream?
If there's ice cream, I'm there.
Ice cream and donuts.
Yeah, ice cream and donuts, we're there. Sophia the First was the one I could actually stomach. Boy, what else did she watch? She watched that too. The something about the fairies or the I can't remember. Something about Tinkerbell, and there was a bunch of them. I don't remember what that was.
I don't remember what it's called, but it's Hoosier should know.
Anyway.
Tornado likes them.
So if you guys want a heads up for next week's giveaway, right? So we try to do a lot of the inside stuff with the afterglow. This is what we're thinking about next week's giveaway. You guys ready for this? I'm not ready for this, but you guys ready for this? What is that? Oh, here, I gotta show this. Oh, I can't show this. I'll leave it up there because it does need to be shown. I pulled a 63 the Jefferson nickel out of circulation. I swear it's an NI, not intended for circulation, NIFC, because wow, is it pretty. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Next week's giveaway.
I hate frozen lights.
Oh, Frozen. Oh my goodness. I tell you what, it's probably the one. This is the deal. You ready for this, Mike? We have the one granddaughter who watches Frozen over and over and over again, right? So I tried to do something sneaky. It's like, all right, instead of Frozen, we're going to put this in. So I put the that's right, the older version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in. You know, the Gene Wilder one, right? So I thought, all right, maybe we can get her into this. Also, too, I'm trying to throw in the old Mary Poppins, you know, and stuff like that. Well, anyway, so I made the mistake of throwing in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Well, now she loves it. But of course, now I'm becoming to hate it because now she's starting to watch it over and over and over and over again. Oh my goodness, but bad grandpa.
My grandson watches TJ Maxx 2 AWR.
Hey, Canadian Route Hunters, how are you?
Wow, Amy, you are lucky.
Wow, really? Anyway, so getting back to next week's giveaway, we have a Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium's t-shirt for next week, and also too, the person we'll get into that next week. The person who made the t-shirts actually won one of the colonial coins donated by Yeoman GAW, and they wish to actually put them back to the community. So basically, next week we've got a Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium t-shirt, and also too the colonial coin, one of the colonial coins that Yeoman GAW. So actually got one back, and we're going to do the coin, we'll do the t-shirt, and she's just requesting that we plug the t-shirts that she makes. Not right. She makes whatever, I guess, what you'd want. And so there we have it. So next week we'll be giving away a Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium's t-shirt along with one of the coins that Yeoman GAW donated, and it should be a great time. Might have a rebranding thing too. We also have these. This is a it's backwards because I'm on the other screen. We also have the Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium's first aid kit. Yeah, gang. First aid kit. This was something I was mentioning earlier. They can actually use. Comes in handy. Especially, you can throw it in your pack or whatever you may carry while you metal detect. Especially if you do any bottle hunting or you're going through the ground with glass and whatnot. And hey, Adriana, you're back. And hi. Flip point? No, okay. And Adriana, are you going on tomorrow? And boy, this could be the decider whether I go back to the field or whether I do actually cut the grass and then be inside in time for Mantics and Rivendell. Yep. Okay. And I missed a little bit, so I have to go back a little bit.
Did you want to give them a sneak peek of the shirt?
Now we'll wait and save the yeah.
And the shirts are courtesy of my sister.
Drew would rather watch the news. Wow, really? Youngster actually watching the news.
Good night, North Jersey Detector.
North Jersey Detector, have a good night. Nice, that would go great with my toilet paper.
What?
Oh, I think she won the, yeah.
Adriana wants to know what time Riv is going on.
Uh-oh. Riv, I'm coming for you tomorrow at Mantics Anonymous. LOL. Yeah, Hoosier. Wow, I forgot where you...
Outfit, I forget about the Mantic Casino. I may have to change my stream time.
Uh-oh. Okay, well, we'll keep it on the radar. Rib, I'm coming for you tomorrow at Mantics Anonymous. I tell you what, I've got to rebuild the empire again. I tried something else with the casino again. I tried a different betting strategy that, if you couldn't tell, did not work. And then I went back to the old strategy and I started climbing again. My biggest downfall, I tell you what, I get in there so late sometimes that I do better if I just go to bed. Because then I get really careless. I get tired brave. Well, let's go ahead and bet $3 million. And, which doesn't work. Yeah,
you did great, Hoosier.
Yeah, I had a good night Saturday. Went from 600,000 to 2+ million. Wow. Congrats. I tell you what a great time. And let's see. So we got that coming up. We got the first aid kit coming up. We got t-shirts coming up. Speaking of glass, if you guys are ready for this, I dug and sifted a site Sunday prior to doing all my YouTube work. And this site I was digging and sifting, and the site I was digging and sifting was kind of curious. There was no glass. There was only a few nails, but it was loaded with buttons, seashell, and pieces of ceramic. No white ceramic, only crockery and earthenware. There was no actual china. And the only thing that I can imagine digging and sifting this little area, there's probably a homestead site, I'd say about 30 yards away. And I do believe this was the campsite that they had close to the water source prior to them building the house, 30 yards away or so. But nothing's really too exciting. Well, it's more of a day for information and kind of getting a look at, where they were encamped prior to having the house finished.
Adriana says I might have to give Faye a cutoff time. My butt still hurts.
How long did you guys go for? I fell asleep on you guys. Yeah, I never made it around for the end of the stream giveaway. I know you guys had to be long because in the morning when I saw how long you guys were on, I didn't know. I know it had been long. 10 hours?
Wow.
3 a.m.?
That's not what she typed, and I don't blame her.
Wait, that's 3 a.m. your time. What would that be for us? Wait a minute now.
Adriana, did you stop to eat in the middle of that? Because I know you were saying you were hungry.
10 effing hours? Does FN stand for fun?
Yes, that's what it stands for, baby.
No wonder this old guy fell asleep. Holy cow! Wait. Who's your 3 a.m. 3 hour time, Reiser? Wait a minute. Are you Eastern, though, Hoosier? Or are you talking about my time, 3 a.m. my time here in the East? Wow.
Oh, and she never got to eat.
Holy cow. Mike, did you stay awake for the whole thing?
He says he watched it twice.
Oh my goodness. Why, did it get out of hand? And why, shucks, what did I miss? It was 2 a.m. Central. So, yeah, okay, alright, Hoosier, yeah, so it's 3 o'clock. Holy cow. Wow. I'm glad I bought in then and didn't just do the...
That should have been one of the nights where we fell asleep with it running in the background.
Holy cow. Well, I probably did falling asleep to it. It was probably still going on. Of course, what's a shame? When you're asleep, you can't do the exclamation point enter one,
That's true.
You just imagine doing that, then falling asleep. It's like, oh, Reiser, you won the giveaway. And you just fall asleep. It's like, geez, see what they
will
lie.
not happen again.
Holy cow.
Wow.
I tell you what, that made it for a long Sunday.
Yeah. Mike said, is that a record? And Adriana said, yep, a record.
Hey, Mountain Man Coins and Antiques, how are you? And welcome to the Afterglow. This is kind of like our casual chat segment of the live stream where we just kind of banter, go back and forth, and also to make fun of Amy. No, I'm kidding. Oh, she probably didn't hear that because she said be right back just as I said that. So,
Adriana says right after getting back from the vacation too.
Wow, I tell you, it did sound like a great vacation though.
Jordan says, I was watching holding the phone over my head so that if I fell asleep, the phone would down in my hand to whack me and wake me up. Yes.
What a great tip. All right, gang, there you go. Tip from Jordan Anderson. That way if you do fall asleep. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Okay, Rib's going to change his stream time to 6 and stay on for an hour so he doesn't miss Adriana. So, Amy said she'll be right back.
Yeah.
If Rib is going on at 6, Adriana's going on at 7 to 8:30. What time does Amy want it?
Mike, Reiser, smell your armpit. Might make Amy feel better. Oh my god. I can't believe she did that, but it was quite funny.
Yeah, it was.
I tell you. So, let me just ask, Adriana, did the show get out of hand? Did it get the silly ha-has, or what we call them, the schleppy ha-has? When you get, like, overtired and just everything becomes funny, when you get punch drunk, tired, did the show get out of hand? I may have to go back and watch, though.
Mike says, you know what I'll be doing on my next stream? Amy. Oh, hi, Lou.
Mike, don't give it away, but did you like your card? It wasn't so much I was looking for something inappropriate as I was for looking for something that was completely irrelevant to,
Rib said, I think Shay was nodding off, and Adriana said, we were stupid by the end.
Hey, Lou D, how are you?
Oh, my.
And, yeah, Lou D, welcome to the Afterglow, this segment of the show where we just kind of banter, talk back and forth, and really nothing structured. Uh-oh, we'll open live, maybe. Oh, shucks, I probably gave it away. I thought I might have already opened it. Oh, well. Look out. But also, too, something I didn't mention during the live stream, I think I kind of slipped my head. Hey, Treasure Hunting SWPA, how are you? You're back.
Welcome back, SWPA.
That button, right? There's a phrase in the community that sometimes I don't like, or I should say, just I don't find it appropriate. I think there's a better phrase that we can come up with. Some people say about saving history when they are talking about metal detecting, and sometimes I kind of, I don't know. I think there's a better phrase that we can come up with rather than saving history in regards to pulling things from the ground and preserving them, etc. And but I have to say that button probably would not have survived another season of being plowed. There was barely enough on that button to be identified, and being plowed over or trying to survive a winter being that shallow, another winter, I don't know. I don't think it would have made another year. I think after another year being in the ground, there would have been nothing left of that button to be identified. It would have been lost to history. Treasure Hunting SWPA. Save our past. That's a good one. Save the relic. Save that relic. I had an archaeologist say the best place to leave the relics was in the ground. Disagree. That button is actually the case. Another year in the ground? Even with the microscope, I could not tell that was previously a button because all signs of the shank are gone. But
Somebody says so they can find it and claim it.
Oh boy, oh George, let me tell you what. I don't know if I should share that or not, but not going to learn anything, leaving them in the ground. Absolutely. Do you put wax on your buttons, Charlie? Depends. It depends. Depends on.
Is that what you were talking about?
What? George?
No, me.
No, I didn't even see you put that on there.
Wax on your buttons.
I don't typically. I like to leave things in their natural state. Any kind of preservation. It depends. It depends. Like I may do something with this American Loyalist button, the King and Constitution button, just because there's so little left. I don't want nothing else to disappear from it. So I may think at this point, about doing something extra to it. Where was I at? There was somebody in here. Oh, George. So they can find it and claim it. All right, I want to tell this story. I don't know if I've told this story before or not. Once upon a time, I was a docent for a local museum. And this museum contained artifacts from somebody's private collection who was probably one of the foremost amateur archaeologists in our region. And I'd say one of the top archaeologists in our region was once upon a time a guy by the name of Herbert Kraft. And but this guy who donated everything he had, all the information, he wrote books and he wrote pamphlets and he wrote articles out of the stuff that came out of the ground. He had no professional training, although you would think he did, because again, his passion fueled his education, not the dollar bill. And anyway, make a long story shorter, I hope, the museum was visited by an archaeologist, and the archaeologist basically spent time criticizing the fellow who was running the museum, the guy who collected all the specimens and everything. Why, and basically, oh, you pulled that from the ground, and you're not professionally trained, and et cetera, and so forth. Well, anyway, this archaeologist also has a private company. He gets paid to be an archaeologist to do surveys, because in this state, in some areas, you have to have an archaeological survey done before you can build, okay? Why, this guy, again, his passion was history in the ground. So this archaeologist criticized this guy for digging stuff out and also for keeping it where people can't see it. At the same time, it's pounding my head like, guy, you're in a museum that's displaying and interpreting all this stuff. It's not in somebody. Anyway. So it's already making my skin crawl. One day, probably a year or two later than this episode, this archaeologist who had already gotten under my skin for bad-mouthing the guy who started the museum and etc., was invited over to his house to see what he had in his garage. The archaeologist. Now, as I got into the archaeologist's garage, there in his garage, where nobody could see it, where nothing was on display, was boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of artifacts and etc., stuff that was locally, historically significant, not on display, not interpreted. So we had a conversation where basically I was asked then to leave because I reminded him of that previous conversation that we had at the museum. He kind of felt somewhat insulted. I mean, no harsh words were used, nothing, but he kind of didn't appreciate his toes being stepped on. And at that point, I didn't really care anymore because you gotta walk the walk, and this guy, yeah. Anyway, so, archaeologists had a whole garage full, and it drove me nuts. It took me a couple years actually to get over it. Some things I did after that, I actually became very sour on some of the local professional type archaeologists, and some I actually had to apologize to later on because where I became so sour, I didn't want to share any information. I didn't even want to talk to nobody who was quote unquote professional. Because let me tell you what, I'll take any guy with a passion over a profession. So, all right, I'll get off my soapbox now. Sorry about that. I think we dig our holes more careful than they do. I know we have much more care with it. Like Indiana Jones, where they put the Ark in the warehouse. Riv, I tell you what, it's a crime. And yet, at the same time, I do know the state trying to confiscate uh, private collections. There's a story about that probably about a dozen so years ago, where they were accusing a guy from retrieving artifacts from what they supposed was public land. And the guy was like, "Nope, this stuff came from field walking from farmers' fields, private land." And the state kind of was trying to argue the point, and it was long, drawn out, and fruitless on their part because they didn't have nothing. They wanted the stuff that this guy had, and they didn't get nowhere.
Alright, Adriana said, I love old stuff. That's why I married my
Wow, that sounds like Satan over.
Don't even say it. I'm older than you.
Lou D says you should trademark anyway, gang. We should probably really stick that on the T-shirt more than
or doo-doo.
Or doo-doo. Okay. Used a milky glue on lead buttons. I also read where broke my dang phone screen today. Broke. Mike, also too, I see some people are using some sort of clear coat. I don't have much experience with it, but I am curious about it. They'll spray it down with a type of clear coat that acts as a preservative. The only thing that bothers me with the clear coat would be trapping moisture. So, and really, that's actually some of my misgivings with some other stuff. Cougars are hot. Well, thank you, Canadian Rail. Oh, we're not talking about me.
No, because they've heard me say that I'm older than you.
Noodles are going in the water. Oh my goodness, George. Oh my goodness, Rip. That'll keep me up at night too. Right, I do wonder what is archived in places like the Smithsonian or British Museum. The British Museum, I want to go so bad. And have not seen the light of day for decades. Oh my goodness. Especially prior to the age of when archaeology was still young. By stuff that was basically grave robbed. And that since they don't have the interpretation for, they just kind of store it away to save face. I need to figure out what to do with my clock face that still has paper on it. I used to have an article about how to save exposed paper, but I don't know where to start looking for it.
It's all buried on his island, honey.
What is?
I don't know.
Oh, so anyway, gang. So Jordan Anderson, if you're still here, I'm going to tattletale on myself. Mike, I tell you what, for you folks that live stream, this could be actually something coming in really handy. And I don't mind giving away any kind of trade secrets, because if I can make your channel better or funnier or whatever you want to do, or if you can find a different purpose for it, why, this was, I don't know, like $10 at Target. And I've been having so much fun with this thing. But there's all kinds of different little noises.
Hide it from the grandkids.
Oh yeah, gotta keep this out of the reach of the grandkids. Heck, I'm bad enough, let alone the grandkids playing with it. But
I have a feeling I'm going to be hiding it from Charlie.
So yeah, Jordan Anderson was actually not going crazy. There was actually there was actually something going on. There was some.
And yes, Jordan, I tried to play it off that I wasn't hearing anything.
Oh, Jordan's there. Yeah, so you weren't going crazy. There was actually something going on in the background. I was kind of getting used to where the buttons were, because so far I think I really only used it in the stream for the giveaway. You know, I did the drum roll and the applause. You know, I didn't really want. I was actually rehearsing during the opening, so I didn't want to mistake. You know, oh, and the winner is. You know, yeah, I didn't want that. You know, or oh, okay, yeah, congratulations to.
I wouldn't have shared either, yeah. Adriana.
So actually wanted to make sure I had them right. Wait a minute. Okay, so I'm not buying a darn thing. Yeah, or yeah. No, thank you. Or I forget who was saying they had the. Oh, it was Amy. Amy, the Mormons coming to the house. So yeah, I'll tell you what, we have some useful purposes for that thing. That darn thing are $1 a piece here. Oh wow! I tell you what, yeah, in Target they were $10. If Texas wants to raise some state revenue, just tax Hot Wings. I think I threw away my easy button from Office Depot. That was easy. Was that Staples or was that Office Depot? I still have one of those at work.
I think it was Staples. Mike says that sounds like Wild Man's Lodge.
Ah, see, we were making Jordan think he was crazy. Charlie does not believe in Oak Island. Well, so far, let me tell you what. Each and everybody here who has posted videos, Mike and Amy, so far you guys found more than they have found on Oak Island. I'm not going to say that there's never been anything there. We'll just say that they made this show a long, drawn-out affair that, I don't know. I think they could have did better if they just focused more on the history of the place rather than hoping for you to tune in next week because, and then nothing. But.
All right, Hoosier. You said my dad used to have epic conversations with telemarketers when you were a kid. If YouTube existed then, I am certain he would have had 1 million+ subs. My nephew, if my sister would get a phone call from a telemarketer, she would give my nephew the phone, and my nephew would turn it around and try to sell the telemarketer a piece of string for $99.99. It was hilarious. And he had it down pat where he did not stumble over his words.
Hi, Miss Beth. How are you?
Hi, Beth.
Welcome to the Afterglow. I don't say what the Afterglow is. You know what it is. I think you've been here before.
Hi, Joe.
Joe, how are you? But anyway, yeah, so that was my new little sound machine. Oh shoot, that's not the one I wanted. See, that's why I had to rehearse. But I know also too. I like to give you guys a sneak peek into what's coming up in future shows. The introduction. I got a special introduction I'm working on. You know how usually you see for 10 minutes you see the logo, and then usually about 2 minutes prior to the start you actually get the music, and then you get the film. You know, the countdown. Actually, I've got a special introduction I'm working on, and I tell you what, it is super special. It's actually, I don't know if it's funny or not, but it's something to watch. I just hope it doesn't lag. If it lags, then yeah. I've never seen him before. Let's see. Finally, the beautiful Miss Beth has arrived. All right. Yep. I was checking out Green Bay Wacky. As much as I keep hearing about Green Bay Wacky, I've yet to watch him. I think I got one of his on my watch later things.
Dirt Monkey says, I gave up on Oak Island. The past 2 seasons were just a waste and repeats of the same thing, but in a different way. Yeah, they found nothing.
I tell you what, there's so many other treasure sites that would be highly entertaining to watch or trying to get down to and actually recover. But I don't know. I guess that one pays. I don't know. But also too, what else I got coming up? Oh, live stream. I didn't even discuss this yet with you know who. But live stream.
I'm right here.
Oh, I keep forgetting.
And I have a name. I am Weird Lady.
Weird Lady. I have this idea. I actually got to thinking about the yard sale. Yard sale, I should have been just the Tuesday night show for that one night. Instead of trying to do the yard sale, then the normal live stream, I should have just had the yard sale be the Tuesday night, that night's episode, and rather than trying to do back to back. So I got thinking about that and the future of doing live streams out and about. You know, doing like the walking tour, but staying in one spot. And my goal right now, I don't have it ordered yet. I do have it picked out, a Bud microphone, and we are going to try to do a live Tuesday night live stream from a historical spot. And see, somebody doesn't know about this yet because I'm kind of still thinking about it. I'm still trying to put it together, and I was thinking about different historical locales to do that, and I was trying to sort through my brain about as far as what's semi-local, what can I hit after work, or possibly leave a couple hours early from work to try and get to, and etc. And one place that has in my mind that's probably going to have decent either cell phone reception and someplace that we haven't really been. I've dragged you fine folks over to Fort Mercer, but one place we haven't all been together yet is Fort Mifflin. Now, Fort Mifflin has been open to ghost hunters and all that good jazz, and of course, since we go on at 7 o'clock, we're going to try and make some contact. Hey, well, I'm curious to see if they have Wi-Fi, because we always operate live stream better with Wi-Fi, and we don't actually lag as much. But any excuse to leave work a few hours early is a great excuse. Yes, that's right, and especially to go someplace to work.
And funny.
So right now, I'm going to try and write an not right this second, but in the very near future, I'm going to try and write an email to the fine folks there at Fort Mifflin, see if they would mind horribly if we stayed on the grounds at 7 o'clock at night to do our regular live stream. And whether or not we stay late enough to do an afterglow at Fort Mifflin, I don't know. It's going to depend on power and how well it's going as far as if we're experiencing lag or not. There's no lag. We're going to run right through to 3 o'clock in the morning. No, not really, but yeah. We're going to see how far we can go. But that's an idea. haven't really developed it fully yet. But like I said, I got some technology coming, including the microphone bud. We do this from Fort Mifflin. Believe it or not, I'm going to use my laptop to stream from, just because I got all this stuff. That's the idea. I don't know. I'm still developing it, because we'll see. Maybe we can run 2 live streams consecutively. Wouldn't that be something? Have Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium's normal thing going on, right? We do the hour-long thing, do an hour special about Fort Mifflin and the different things going on. Hey, they also had that's on the inside. This is at 7 o'clock. We'll go inside. Never mind. But so we'll do an hour-long thing about Fort Mifflin, and then we'll come back and stream via cell phone and actually take a walk around the fort. I don't know. It's an idea. Still working on it. But that would be cool, says Canadian Relic Hunters. Well, thank you, thank you. Night, AWR. Have a good night. And who won the giveaway? AWR did. Oh, wait a minute. I missed something. But what would Risers call their gaming points? Riser rounds. I'm sorry. Was I supposed to have games? Six Flags. Kick my butt. Eyes are getting heavy. Have to hit the hay. Have a great night, all. Thanks for the stream. All right, Mike. Do have a good night. What was it, Charlie? You mean Fort Mifflin? Oh, what was the giveaway? It was an 1893 Columbian Exposition commemorative calf.
Peter Hillbilly says only if we're going till 3 a.m.
Well, you know, it's kind of be neat about that stream. Why, you can get all your history stuff from Reiser, or Mr. Reiser. Then you get all your ghosty stuff from Mrs. Reiser, all in the same stream.
Mrs. Reiser needs to get over the congestion so I can make Amy's video.
I am taking Drew to a water park tomorrow. Now both of you guys got nicknames. We got Amster, and now we got Drooby-Doo.
Mike says Reiser's top around.
Have a good night, Mike, and we'll catch you around on the tube. Yes, when is Mrs. Reiser going to do a ghosty stream? I'll let her answer that one.
I don't plan on doing a live stream yet. I'm not comfortable with it. But I will be making a video on a story that Amy sent to me. And as soon as I get over the congestion that I have in my head, I will be making it. Right now, it sounds kind of funny.
Great idea here. Take deposits on Wednesday, stream from a casino on Friday, moving around the games and placing bets for people that deposited in chat. Great idea, HH. I tell you what, we should be in the think tank together. Already, we could have made millions off of Amy's beer popsicles. I'm down with it. Adriana, gotta go for a second. Can't take you with me. Too weird. Adriana, are you gonna go poop?
Well, that's what I just did, Adriana. I had to go pee.
Wait a minute, probably Amy. Let's get back to Amy for a second. Mike said that for Amy to sunscreen. Also to deodorant, Amy. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. Beer sickles.
I don't know, Riv. Is it? Maybe I'll have to look that up.
It's those darn wings. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. Beer sickles. I wonder if we would have to make our own beer, or if we can use existing beer to make the beer sickles. I thought alcohol didn't freeze. It would have to have a very low alcohol rate. I think it would be done.
Wine coolers freeze.
What? Yeah, that they do. Yeah, they also break the bottles, right?
Well, that was regular wine.
On the pot with I'm telling you what, that would be a fascinating live stream. You know, have an hour-long poo, and you know, people are on their phones anyway.
No, you spend enough time in the day after.
Part-time detector, LOL. I don't need no stinking deodorant.
Hi, Great Lakes Dirt Fishing.
Hey, Great Lakes Dirt Fishing, how are you? I think we have cannabis popsicles here. All right. Is there a fart machine? Oh, yes, there is. Let's see. Hit it when she comes back. Okay. We'll have it ready.
She's back.
Oh.
she said, "Pay back wasn't our fault."
Anyway. No, we were not talking about you going to the bathroom. Yes.
Great.
I actually remember now we were talking on Amy's stream about that. It was like when the cop pulled you over, it's like, oh, hey, officer, we only had 4 popsicles. You know, I usually have potty jokes at the beginning of the live stream. So, you know, kind of really fits in.
Adriana says she went pee.
I went pee, people. Oh boy, there's a joke there, but I can't make that joke. Wait a minute. So actually, wait. All right. So if we have a poo noise or a fart noise, I wonder if this would be the pee sound. You ready? No? Okay. Wait a minute. I got it. I have the pee sound right here. You ready? I don't know. I forgot what this one is. Wait a minute. What's this one do?
So where did you say it, man?
If that is the noise you make, it's time to see the doctor.
The Drew Carey Show.
Oh, I missed it. What?
Amy says she remembered where she'd seen the beer popsicle.
Oh, the Drew Carey Show. The Price is Right? No. Error.
Bad cases of drip.
They should have patented it. Absolutely, you know. Could you imagine if you had the ice cream truck coming down the street selling beer popsicles? Whatever, you know, they usually have the chicken in the straw or whatever the song is, you know, or whatever. I wonder what song the beer sickle truck would play coming down the street.
Grandma got run over by a beer truck?
I don't know.
Or Grandpa got run over by a beer truck. Hi, Mississippi.
Hey, Mississippi. Thank you. And you too. Have a great night.
See you, Miss Beth.
See you, Miss Beth. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, DK. How are you?
Hi, DK.
And yes, earlier in the stream, in the regular stream, where we're now in the afterglow, we did give a thank you and kind of re-shouted out last week's show. And again, thank you so much on behalf of Sandy for the silver round. Made her night, I tell you.
I love the box.
Yes, it was like, holy cow, what's in that box? Rivendell coins, frozen mudslides, beer sickles, cannabis ice cream sandwiches. Get them while you can.
It's alright, DK.
But I tell you what, I had it, so I used it. The coin fit perfectly. That it did.
It did?
Yeah. You know what, DK? You know, I think about you and 5280. You know, you guys are out there in the I don't know what you say in the West, and you know as how it's funny, as far as being addicted to this hobby, we're always interested in the other guy's, how to put it, opportunity for metal detecting. Like me, I would love to be in you guys' area and try to do some of the old mining camps and the old west towns, you know, the ghost towns and etc. Where at the same time, where you guys are at, you guys probably look on like us here in the east, you know, we're picking out, you know, large scents and etc. Like, oh my god, you know, to pick out the large scents, whatever. It's always weird how everybody's trying to, you know, like, oh, how neat it must be. And then watch, you know, like fellows like Ben or Yorkshire or etc. Why, a Roman coin. Could you imagine digging out a Roman coin out of the ground? I don't know how I would contain myself.
He actually said, and vice versa, sir, at Reiser. There was a bean for him.
Have a good night, Hoosier. And we'll catch you around on the street. We want what we cannot get, LOL. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But what is the song in the beginning of your videos? It's oh my goodness. It's Blue, I'll have to look it up again. Oh my god, Fate. I know, really. I'd poop my pants, Canadian Relic Hunters. No, that's just you. But I tell you what. Some of the other stuff I see come out of the ground. Now, usually the British folks, they're posting, seems like a lot of videos as I'm getting ready for work. Oh, that and the Australians. The Australians are live streaming while we're getting ready for work. And I tell you what, come across some of the, again, it's that whole thing of being able to find what's not in your area. Oh, it's just neat. Hey, Harry, how are you? Anyway, Live D, I'll have to look up what it is again, only because it took about a year to find that song, to find where the copyright had expired on it, and it was never renewed. And it was also from a record label that no longer exists. If you are attempting to find older music, there's a couple of things you gotta watch out for. Stuff that's owned by Sony eventually came from, I'm gonna try and do this off the top of my head, Camden, New Jersey. Goodness. Columbia Records. And then from Columbia Records, you have to watch the chain of progression of the copyright, because actually that copyright can still exist. Try to find something prior to 1923 and you'll be good to go. Even then, sometimes people will falsely claim a copyright ownership even though it is in public domain. I've seen that a lot on YouTube. Can't do it. So, yes, do be careful. You don't want nothing crazy to happen as far as somebody saying, hey, you can't use this. Whereas you always want to do your research first and be able to show that you can use it because it's in public domain where the copyright has expired. But hey, Cindy, how are you? Welcome over to the Afterglow. This is where we kind of chit chat, have casual banter, etc. And yeah, because the regular live stream story time was a little while ago. But welcome, welcome.
Hi, Cindy. There's a random voice that sits on the side of Charlie during his live streams, which would be his wife. Hi.
Cindy, have you found anything? Wait a minute. Am I missing? No, Lemon's probably not one yet. I don't think. He usually comes about 9:30. Have you, Cindy, gotten anything good lately? Cindy, I don't know if you heard me say it before or not, but at the semi-local coin shop, because this guy's not local to me, he's semi-local. He's actually quite a distance away. In the junk bowl, he had a trine for $4. And do you know Reiser passed it up? I for whatever reason, I'm still boggled of why I did not just put that in the purchase pile. And I've been kicking myself for almost 2 weeks now. I gotta get back up there. I gotta go get that darn trine for $4. It was a nickel trine. It was 60. I think it was a 65. Why on earth that thing was in the junk bowl, I don't know. And why I passed that thing up for $4, I wish I could give you a valid reason of why. I don't know. I don't know where my head was. I think I was so enamored of everything else that was going on and everything else that I was buying that it just didn't. But I tell you what, the day after I got back home, I do the same thing with Lemon's channel. You know that. I'll delay. I'll hesitate, and I won't bid on something. And then the next day I'll have the non-buyer's remorse. That's right. I have non-buyer's remorse. Oh, I wish I bought that.
Canadian Relic Hunter says I'm slapping myself for you right now.
Oh,
Charles says you should be kicking yourself.
Oh yeah, a trine for $4, and I won't. I probably shouldn't tell you the condition of this coin because it was. You know what probably made me think of not buying it was how clean it looked, and it looked too clean. It looked too clean as if it had been cleaned, and the more I run it through my head, it's not so much I don't think it was cleaned, I think it was kept. And oh my goodness, I tell you what, I'm hoping like anything, it's still going to be there the next time I walk in that shop. I'm going right to the bowl and start rifling through the bowl. But
Cindy told me to kick you.
I tell you, I need to be kicked because I've been thinking about that darn coin probably every day since I didn't buy it. They're open Thursday through Sunday, so it's going to be a no-go. Well, I got a feeling I got a melody detect, but Dirt Monkey says there is always a reason why we do something. If the trine is still there, then it's meant to be. I hear that, Dirt Monkey. Well, it's going to give me an excuse to go back. I know that. Cindy says I want one banned.
What was the name of that store, Charlie?
It's the perfect jewelry in Berlin. They have a website. I don't know if they would rifle through the bowl for me. Of course, the price of that coin may change after they.
Rick said, don't tell.
But let's see what else. I need to dig some old silver. I'm in such a drought. You know what? I have found a trine before digging, a nickel trine, but I've never found a silver one. I don't even think I own a silver trine. I'm gonna have to look. But the silver trines are neat. But boy, did they wear horribly. Rivendell might be able to voice an opinion about this. I think it's probably a worse for wear coin than the Standing Liberty Quarters. It did not seem like they held up at all very well. Cindy says, play dumb and buy it if they still got it. Yeah, darn right. I was kind of like, yeah, I'll take that. Yeah. I tell you what, the prices of this shop, this is my new favoriteest shop. I did not even know they were in existence. I've been in that area of where the shop is. It's actually near a flea market, farmer's market, that type of thing. They have an indoor area. And in this indoor area, they have separate shops. Not so much like stalls, like a co-op flea market would have, if you can imagine it. But they actually have individual small shops in the farmer's market. And they got this coin store in there. We've been here for a while, they say. Holy cow, I never come inside. Usually I do the aisles up and down to see what people bring at the flea market area, and look for coins and whatnot. And just by chance that day, I forgot my magnet, and the only thing I really saw out in the flea market area was I think I saw a couple Morgans, later Morgans, and they weren't anything to shake a stick at. And I thought, yeah, you know what? Before we leave, we'll walk on the inside or whatever. And sure enough, there's that shop, and oh my goodness, what a wonderful shop! I don't have any shops near me. Lemon is my shop. I tell you what, the folks here on the tube, I tell you what, it's so convenient, and you see such more of a variety here on the tube than you can sometimes at the shop. But let's see. I think the first thing I bought from Lemon was a silver round, and but yeah. Anybody have any Confederate money in their collection? I did probably years ago, and I regret like anything selling it. But I wonder if any of you guys have any Confederate money in your collection? I've always been leery about paper currency. I don't know. It's one of those weird things. Ah, Dirt Monkey does. Oh, great. Rib says, I have 3 Confederate bills. Confederate coins are really expensive. Did they make anything besides gold coins? Did they make any like silver or copper coinage, Rib? I don't know off the top of my head. Oh, 2 things real quick, Treasure Hunting SWPA. You guys know Goodwill has an auction site and they sell old coins. No! But we'll be looking that up. And
night, Cheryl.
Hey Cheryl, do have a good night, and thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yes, they made silver coins too. Rib, I will be looking those up. But SWPA, something that goes on not quite in your area, I believe in Harrisburg. They have government surplus auctions, military surplus auctions in Harrisburg that you can bid online and everything like that. I am tempted. I am highly tempted to get some stuff. Only problem is you can't hold them and see them up close. And late to the party, but hello everyone. Hey, Detecting for Life, how are you? You're welcome to the Afterglow. This is kind of like the casual chat and banter and pick on Amy time. And but anyway, so welcome. Treasure Hunting SWPA. I buy all kinds of military surplus. It's fun stuff. Not only fun stuff, but you should see some of the prices that you can actually buy this stuff for. Next to nothing. And then as far as a resale value, oh my goodness, some of the prices, especially like the flak jackets and etc. Oh my goodness, for what you are, we'll say, what you can sell them for is so, we'll just say it's highly profitable. We'll put it that way. Dirt Monkey, all mine are graded and in very good mint condition. Oh, you're talking about your bills. I tell you what, I may have to do research on the Confederate money because I do feel a certain area is lacking. And there seems like a push for foreign coins right now in the community. Was watching SJ live streaming the other day, and she'd been to her local coin shop, and she had picked up foreigns. And I do believe Ken was saying something about having foreign. Oh, yeah, actually, this past the Big Show, he had quite a bit of foreigns in that one. Harry K. There used to be an old Army Navy near me when I lived in PA. I used to buy a lot of military surplus there. I miss those Army Navy stores. Oh my goodness. Let's see. The one local to me was
Bonanza?
not Bonanza. It used to be on Landis Avenue.
Bonanza?
No, it wasn't.
The
Bonanza.
one that was behind Sears?
No, the one that was near where something berry. Near where Newberry's was. Yeah.
I don't know what that one was. I know Bonanza was right there in that little complex behind Sears.
It was like Sal's Army Navy or something like that. I don't remember the name of it. I miss those old stores. I will leave this streaming, but I am getting a headache, I think. Rob Random poisoned me.
I wouldn't have trusted anything Rob sent you.
I tell you what, Amy, I was worried for you. I was like, oh my goodness, should Drew be there as Amy opens this box? It was like, oh, it's okay. Anyway, great live stream earlier, Amy. Holy cow, just this past weekend at the Relic Show, a Confederate $100 bill sold for $5,000. Wow. It's amazing how some of that. But yeah, the conditions, everything.
Stop it, George. You're making me really
George.
hungry.
Noodles are stuffed, meat, sauce, and cheese topping, and in the oven for holy cow, oh my goodness, George. I have to go back and watch that one, Amy. Man, she sniffs her arm. No, I can't tell you.
Good night, Amy.
It used to be in Allentown. None of that song stuck in my head. I cannot see Allentown without having Billy Joel's song go through my head. I used to drive the turnpike going north and, Allentown song.
No, I don't want it, Amy. You can keep it.
Have a good night, Amy, and we'll catch you around on the tube. Great area, Pennsylvania. Wasn't there a coin shop in Pottstown? It seems to me, I think I remember going through Pottstown. Isn't that where they had the Yingling Brewery at? I recall stopping at a coin shop in Pottstown one time. Where all the factories are closing down. Yes, Allentown. So, Harry, I'll blame you for if I get that song stuck in my head all day tomorrow. It's all your fault now.
I'm going to have the Goofy song stuck in my head. The
hot dog. Oh my goodness. Hot dog, hot diggity. Oh my god. You know what, Matt? I haven't been to Altoona in years. I wonder how much that's changed.
I've never been there.
Altoona. Big old train yard and trains on top of a mountain. That about sums that up. Yes, Yingling and Pottstown, definitely. That's a nice small town, too, in the center. Wait a minute. I may be getting that confused with Tamaqua. No, I think the coin shop I saw was in Pottstown. I remember stopping in Tamaqua for something, too, but I don't remember what or what for. I tell you what, some of those old coal mining towns are just so neat. It's like just going right back in time. That and some of the names you got of the towns there, you know, Tamaqua, or let's see, what was the name of the town before it was after the athlete?
Jim Thorpe.
Yeah, Jim Thorpe. What was the original name of the town? Mauchunk. Mauchunk. But
What's the name of the town where the girls were?
oh,
You have the great part.
up on Route 6. I know what you mean, but I can't think of the name of the town. That's a nice drive if you ever have a chance. Towanda. Isn't there a Towanda, New York, too? There's a Towanda, Pennsylvania. But anyway, gang. Well, I do believe that is going to we're going to probably wind this down here pretty soon because it's getting rather late. But anyway, gang, hey, I know I just want to thank everybody for hanging out and stopping by, and thanks so much for hanging around for the afterglow. And it is a pleasure to talk to each and every one of you. And you know what, gang, we look forward to talking with you again all across the YouTube, but again here next week. So anyway, people, I thank you so much, and we'll see you around the tube. Do have a good night, and we'll catch you around. See you now.
Bye.
See you, Rev. Good night, George. Thank you for making us hungry. And good night, CRA. Yeah, good night, Canadian. And yeah, Matt. Maybe tomorrow. But do have a good night, all.
Good night, CRA.